The voiceover is a main convention in documentaries as shown in Don't Blame Facebook and Supersize Me. We chose for our documentary to be fully narrated as it's important to lead the audience through the documentary and include important facts to interest them. While the voiceover introduced the people we were about to interview, we played silent videos of them in the background as a preview for who was going to be interviewed. Interviews are a common convention of documentaries. In our documentary, we include Vox Pop interviews where we have asked the general public questions, including both teenagers and adults, which therefore includes both age groups of our target audience. We included a montage of the Vox Pop interviews answering the same questions in different ways to portray the range of different opinions which had been said. Montages are common conventions of documentaries. They are also a feature of a product which I have researched into, Don't Blame Facebook. The Vox Pops were spontaneous as we found people as they were walking in the park or at college. The opportunity sample was a difficult way of finding people, but it meant the answers to our questions were spontaneous and truthful, and we didn't influence the opinions at all. We have also done expert interviews with a psychology teacher, counsellor, policeman, and an IT technician. This range of experts will increase the authenticity of our documentary. We chose to film these experts in their natural daily environments, such as their offices or workplaces. We also used relevant filler footage while our voiceover was playing. Between interviews, we included some filler footage over interviews also, so that our shots were varied and the audience would maintain interest throughout the interview. We did a reenactment of somebody getting cyberbullied over the internet. This put into perspective about what message we were trying to portray to the audience at this point. This was behind a voiceover of Julie Maitland, the college counsellor, talking about cyberbullying. To add to this authenticity, we added facts and statistics, and the way we presented these statistics was unique, as we used a mobile phone and slid between the different facts. Exposition is factual information given by interviewees. In our documentary, this is evident in Tom Krivek's interview and Julie Maitland's interview. We have used archival footage including Jimmy Kimmel's mean tweets and a video of Rebecca Black. This is useful for backing up what we are claiming in our documentary with evidence which has been filmed previously, not by us. We used phones and computers in our shots, much like in the documentary Don't Blame Facebook, as they're related to the topic of social media. The similar product I studied, Don't Blame Facebook, included a variety of shot types, such as pans and zooms. We wanted to do this too, in order to maintain the viewer's interest. We used a high-angle shot of somebody holding a mobile phone, medium shots for our interviews, zooming into Twitter pages, panning across the college website, and over-the-shoulder shot in our interview with Tom. And we sped up a shot of people walking, which is a popular shot used in many documentaries to show the location of where it's being filmed. Leading up to Tom's interview, we used a handheld shot, which is a more unusual shot type, and we thought this was a good way of introducing the audience into the interview by filming the lead up to the corridor into his classroom like they were actually there. Radio trailers are conventionally professional and quite formal, therefore we tried to incorporate this into ours. Even though our documentary wasn't very formal, we wanted to appeal to a more formal audience, which is likely to be the adult audience side of things. So therefore we decided to do this convention. We began with a montage of Vox Pops, which is conventional for radio trailers. We then moved on to the voiceover and music in the background of the voiceover. We were careful to ensure the background sound was at a lower volume to the voiceover. Both the voiceover and the music were the same as the documentary. We thought it was important for them to be consistent, as it helped with the branding of the products. We included some facts and statistics from the documentary in the radio advert to link it more and to interest the audience with some new information, and they might want to hear more facts and therefore watch the documentary. From other radio adverts we studied, we found there was an emphasis on giving the right amount of information, not too much and not too little. We included the date, the time and the channel for it to be aired, as well as the title of the documentary. This is also repeated in the TV listings to reinforce it. This information is conventional for a radio advert as it gives the audience all the information they need in order to watch the documentary in a professional way. To end our radio advert, we used a sound from social networking app Skype, which obviously relates to our topic of social media, and we used the signing out sound effect to indicate the end of the radio trailer. For our TV listings magazine, we used the title of our documentary as the heading, as we wanted to draw attention to it and reinforce it in both ancillary products. We placed this on our main image of our establishing shot from our documentary, a high-angle shot of a mobile phone. The reason for using this image is because it was an important key image from our documentary, therefore we wanted to reinforce that on our double-page spread. The subheading was a short summary of what our documentary was about, and the purpose of this was to persuade the reader to watch the documentary. A subheading is a common convention of TV listings, however they usually describe what the article is about, not what the programme or the documentary is about. But we wanted to really focus on the advertisement of our documentary solely. A pull quote is also a common convention of double-page spreads. We used this within a Q&A with the producers of the documentary. We decided to include a pull quote to add interest for the audience and draw attention to an interesting section of the article, so they'd want to read more. We decided to base our Q&A on us, the producers, as we thought people may be interested in the reasoning behind our topic choice of social media, as well as gaining exclusive information. It's a way of drawing the audience in and grabbing their attention. We decided to include a top tips for internet safety box at the side of the page. This was top tips from the policeman interviewed in our documentary, and therefore links again. It shows more consistency between the products. We did this as we thought it would be beneficial to internet users, and it would also give an insight into one of the expert interviews and what they would be discussing. Therefore, if the reader wanted extra information, they'd have to watch the documentary. We also decided to use a review from The Guardian, as we thought this was a good way of advertising the documentary, as people trust The Guardian, and in many documentaries and films they have reviews, and they publish the reviews to persuade people to watch it. In terms of layout, we remained fairly conventional, placing the main image and the heading near the top of the page, the subheading underneath, and the article in a column format. We needed to remain conventional to Radio Times double-page spreads, as this was the brand we chose for our documentary magazine. So we included the name at the bottom of the page and included a similar page layout, including where we put the page numbers and how we actually laid out the whole page. But we did also try to make it a little bit different, so it wasn't so much the same, as not all of the Radio Times articles are the same. So all in all, I think codes and conventions of our documentaries, we mainly stick to them in all three products, but in some of them we did twist it a little bit just to make it a little bit different and a bit more unique. For instance, the top tips isn't a convention of TV listings. It was something that we included because we thought it would be an interesting aspect to include.